All right, everyone. There's a skunk outside the house, and we're dealing with it as best we can. Some of us better than others. So, I am Lance, and beside me is my wife, Bonnie.
Who is very pissed off about the skunk.
And we're continuing in our Conversations at Home series. I've been off work all week.
That is necessity.
Yes, we don't want to make anyone think that it was just some indulgence. We had an impromptu lunch today at a Mexican place we haven't been to in a while, and it was fantastic.
Why was yours so fantastic, Lance? What did you discover?
Well, the place we went is called Taqueria La Paria, the original location in Athens. And up the hill around the corner, there used to be another Mexican place. They both sold taco salad. Is that what it's called? Taco salad?
Yeah.
But the place around the corner used
The
to...
thing with the edible bowl.
Yeah, The place around the corner used to put grilled vegetables on theirs. So that was the appeal of that place. But we went to La Paria today, and they had an option to add grilled vegetables. So I thought, okay, let's get it. And it was fantastic. And the two of us went with our son, and we must have been starving because we were out of there in 20 minutes, 30 minutes maybe. And
say what all we ate.
I had just the taco salad with the grilled vegetables and chips, and we had cheese dip and guacamole. Our son had, what's it called, fajitas? No, it wasn't fajitas.
Cheese enchiladas.
Cheese enchiladas with some kind of brown sauce on top.
And rice and beans.
Yeah, and Bonnie had...
But Peter had asked me to order an extra side of rice. I misunderstood him and ordered an extra side of rice and beans, so he had twice the amount of food. Whereas I had, because they have so much dairy on the menu, I have to take off the side orders. So I selected rice and beans with a side of a vegetarian tamale. And it was very good.
Yeah, I just couldn't believe how fast we ate everything.
Yeah, I was sitting there. I was still eating. Who finished first among you guys? And I left some food on my plate, and you were going, there's 60 grains of rice. You got to eat it. I'm like, I can't. I mean, the side of rice and beans was, what, $3.50, which is amazingly cheap given going out to eat these days. And it's a plate full of rice and beans. God. And
it's one of those places where they have TVs and you really can't hear the sound. They had
sport.
Yeah, they had basketball going, but when you go and it's soccer time, it's really nice because it gives you this. Yeah, they're playing like what a guy I know used to call ranchero music, and they had. But when you go in there playing soccer or international around the world, it's just this nice feeling because you feel like you're transported.
When it's a big playoff, all the employees are into it too, and so they're stopping and watching and they're yelling, "Woo!"
Yeah,
it's great.
There's another place called Agualinda where they do the same thing.
Yeah,
play international television, which is way better than the crap you see at a doctor's office waiting room.
Yes.
Oh.
I unplugged the TV in the doctor's waiting room today.
Oh, did you? Okay.
I did. They sat me in the lounge area to wait for the next stage. And this thing is over my head and it's blaring. I just looked around. I couldn't find the off button. I just went and unplugged it from the wall. It was so much nicer after that.
In this day and age where everybody carries around their own portable personal television set, why do you have to have the big TV going?
I don't understand it. Of course, I don't understand why people walk around with a portable disco blaring out for everyone to hear it. You've got fucking earbuds. Use the earbuds.
When I was a kid, the dentist that I went to, the waiting room was only lit by
Lamps.
lamps with sort of like green tinted glass shades.
Oh, banker's lamps?
Yeah, sort of. Yeah, that was the idea. But it was quiet and dark, and they had magazines and children's books.
Ooh, the children's Bible. Do you remember those? They were in
Yeah.
every doctor's office when we were growing up.
They had creepy illustrations. But no, stories from the Bible.
Stories from the Bible, that's
Yeah,
what it was.
It's a series. But anyway, I remember. But that what I'm getting. First thing is, it was just such a quiet, pleasant environment. Today, everything is so brightly lit with a fucking television going. But
It wasn't obnoxious with the TV at the restaurant today because I didn't hear it.
exactly.
It was off.
And because the music is in Spanish, it doesn't.
know what they're
You don't.
singing
It doesn't
about.
bother you because you don't know what they're saying. But anyway, the dentist I went to, he had Omni magazine strewn about, and that was such a bizarre magazine back in the early '80s. And I remember they had an article. I think this is my memory is that this is where I saw the 23 Enigma for the first time. There's an article about it. I've been trying to find that issue ever since, and I can't find it.
I was rewatching Stargate Universe for the third or fourth time, and they used the 23 Enigma in one of the scenes. It's used in one of the episodes.
I saw something just in the last 2 days that had the number 23 in it. Oh, I know what it was. It was about that giant wine vessel they found in Burgundy back in the 50s. And it had 23 scenes bolted around the rim of the vessel. It's the something Krater, Krater, and it's amazing the workmanship. And this thing is like I don't know how many thousands of years old. I saw it in an old article, old Horizon magazine article about the magic of bronze. Oh Lord. I don't.
So yesterday, you and I went around to little libraries, and again today,
Little free library.
yes, little free libraries. And then we were talking to our son today about the book sales that the library used to have. And when you and I first got married, we were establishing a household together. I came in with 60 pounds of gear because I had no fixed abode thanks to a previous job. And then you were living in your grandmother's old place. So when we had to set up our own house, we were starting from scratch in a lot of ways, you know? So when we first got going, we got all these books at the library book sales. And I realized when we go to the book sales, we don't need anything.
Yeah, the notion that if you're avaricious, you'll just want more and more, and there's no satisfying your lust for more possessions is
That's
bullshit.
true.
After a while, you're just like, I have enough crap.
I have enough. Yeah, you start asking, where do I have a place for this? It's really funny. Several months ago, you and I were at the little library bookstore in Winterville, and I found a lamp there. I was going to buy it for $15, and it was a Celadon green. I said, well, I don't have any place to put it. And then today, you and I went to the Project Safe thrift store, and they had a Celadon green lamp. It was $4, but it was half price on for $2. I knew exactly where I was going to put it. But a couple of months ago, I had no idea where I would put it. I've replaced a wonky light in the book nook now with it, and that was a nice thing. But, you know, we love going to thrift stores.
Mm-hmm.
But having to stop and go, where would I put this?
Right.
What would I do with it? I mean, even thinking outside the box, I mean, okay, I could use that pot to store my medicines as a, replacement for a box or something. Sure, okay, replace something. But new stuff? I mean, I look around our house, we have a maximalist dreamscape here. And the books are what we own the most of.
Yeah. First of all, I always think of Celadon as being blue.
It's actually kind of like a jade green.
Huh. Well, we hit 2 thrift stores today, and I got some amazing stuff for really cheap. Let me get the stuff out here. First of all, I got to get a case for this because the thing's torn.
Oh yeah.
But first of all, I got something I've wanted for a while. I got the Neil Diamond album that he did with Rick Rubin. It says 2000 and what does it say? 2008 or 2000? What does it say?
Where?
Right there.
I need a magnifying glass. We are old. I think it's 2008.
Yeah, and yeah, I've been wanting to get this for a long time.
It's completely different.
It's Home Before Dark is the name of the album. Huh?
I grew up with Neil Diamond
Yeah.
on the radio, Sweet Carolina and everything. And it was so polished and pop and feel good. This is very different.
Yeah.
It's got that feeling of being in a small tavern, listening to the guy with his guitar.
Well, it's a typical Rick Rubin production. Like, we
it's
want to
really
hear
good.
you. It's
Yeah.
like what he told Johnny Cash. He said, Johnny Cash asked him, well, why should I let you produce me? What is it you want to do? And he said, I want you to come over to my house and sit in my living room with your guitar and sing, sitting on my sofa, and
Yeah,
that's the album.
That's what it feels like.
And
with
Johnny
this one.
Cash was like, well, yeah, okay, yeah. And that's what this is like. It's like just as minimalist as possible to hear you, Neil Diamond, play the guitar and sing. I got Massive Attack's Mezzanine, which I've wanted forever. I got a David Byrne album, Look Into the Eyeball. And I got Velvet Revolver. I don't know if this is the first one or the second one. Contraband. A friend of mine,
Velvet Revolver?
it's half STP and half Guns N' Roses.
So, not Chris. Who?
It's Scott Weiland.
No. Who got you onto this?
Oh, my friend Mitch had both of them, I think, and he let me borrow one of them, and I was like, this is amazing because it sounds exactly like half STP and half Guns N' Roses. It's bizarre. Sounds like Guns N' Roses
What's
music.
The group again?
Velvet Revolver.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I'm amazed at some of the stuff you can find at thrift stores. It's not just crap.
Oh, and how much were those albums? The new
They
one
were-
was $1, and the other ones were 50 cents each.
Yeah, that's what they should be.
Yeah.
A used CD should not be $8.99.
Plus shipping.
The famous Wuxtree downtown Athens, they'll have these same albums used $8.99.
Well, they do have rent to pay.
Well, boo-hoo, he owns that building.
I know, but they still get employees to pay too.
But anyway,
Yeah, I mean, the really cool thing right now, everybody going digital, everyone's uploading the stuff into the cloud or wherever they're putting it, and people are purging CDs that you couldn't have even found a couple years ago. And now we've got these oddballs that are available in stores as well as very commonly found things. And some places are really cheap. What does Goodwill charge for theirs?
$2.50, but if you go on the certain color day, it's half.
About 25. Yeah.
Right, and that's what it should be. Yesterday, I went with Bonnie to an appointment for it was a skin doctor appointment, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, so while she's in the back being seen, I took a walk, and it was misting a little tiny bit. Everything was sopping wet. I brought my camera with me, and it's out in this is like a industrial park that's not really filled up yet. It's still in the middle of, lots of land undeveloped yet. Anyway, so I'm walking around taking pictures, and there is a chimney sticking up out of the middle of this field that they've cleared. So I waded through all these briars and wet weeds to get close to it. And it was a double-sided chimney, as if it served two different rooms. And so I got a shot of that, and I found a piece of a broken plate. And I'd like to believe that it belonged to whatever house was knocked down. It's, I don't know. That's the kind of thing that when I see it, I can't. I wonder, what did the house look like that was here? Who were the people who lived here? How long were they here? You know, how many generations came and went, and it's all gone now, all lost. I don't know.
What happened to us last Thursday?
I have no idea. Oh, we got the new roof put on the house, so that's good.
Yeah.
And trying to think what else has been going on. We just watched a half-hour documentary on the Fukushima. Dealing with the earthquake and tsunami that hit Japan 12 years ago. And I was thinking, if something like that happened here, what would we got to evacuate right now? What would I grab? And years ago, my dad told me if something like that happened to him, first thing he'd grab would be the family photo albums. And Bonnie said, the medicine. Yeah, I don't know what I'd grab.
Our son. The medicine.
We got so much crap in here.
Wallet. Shoes. I don't know.
I don't have a real decent case for my guitar. I used to have a hard shell case for my black SG. That went the way of lost possessions.
Well, I've thought about having to condense everything. And it's the small things in life that you miss when you have to move. I remember stuffing a pillow into my go bag, travel bag. But I had a tiny little container with small little notes from my parents I'd kept for years. And it would travel with me. But everything else was completely practical. And I realized if we had to, say, lived in Northern California and had to pack up the vehicle and go, it's the small conveniences. The extra underwear and socks, certainly. Some clean clothes, but washcloths, the comfortable blanket that you like sleeping with, your favorite clothes that you're most comfortable in. Just a lot of little things around the house. When your parents divorced, I gave Doyle some things to help him get settled. I gave him extra pots and pans and stuff. He said the thing that really he needed more than anything that I gave him was I just got together a collection of pens and paper and oddball things that you need around the house that you don't think about, so you can write down the phone number of whoever was calling, because back then we had answering machines and stuff, and just those little small details. You just forget what makes life more bearable.
We have too much stuff to move. If we had to move cross country, I don't
think it would happen.
90% of this stuff would just, I don't know.
If we ever move, it's going to be because of a natural disaster, and or the house burns or something happens, and we'll have to start all over again.
I got some stuff here. You look around and I see stuff that I used to really treasure. I've got a book of photographs of Led Zeppelin over here that I used to look at ritually. And now I don't care anything about it.
It's strange how things come and go in your life. Years ago, I had a huge yard sale we purged when we were living next door. And every once in a while I think about it and I realize, okay, we're fine without that stuff. Every once in a while I think about, what happened to, I sold it.
I'll tell you something. The first guitar I ever owned was a Yamaha acoustic. And a couple years into our marriage, very early, I was still drinking. I got drunk and got mad and smashed it. So I didn't have acoustic guitar for several years. And Bonnie was working for these two guys who sold, they were, what do you call it? hustlers. They were buying and selling stuff right and left, and they had this sort of off-brand acoustic guitar, and they wanted like 125 for it. I'm not sure. Anyway, so Bonnie bought it for me, and I had never ever written a song before. I'd written, instrumental stuff, but I'd never written anything I could sing along to. And when I got that guitar, that's the guitar I've written all my songs on, everything. And even though it's some off-brand guitar, I love that guitar. My wife bought it for me, and
It has a name.
yeah, I had some. When you're in school and you have science projects, and what do they call those? Are they science projects? What do they call those?
Science fair project.
Science fair. That's right.
So you buy the big A to Z packet of letters so you can make
Sticker
them look
letters.
neat. Yeah.
Right. So
You
I
got a
was
few
rumbling.
left.
I was rummaging around, and I found the leftover stickers, the
So you
letters.
made a word.
So I made a word with the remaining stickers. It was only thing I could come up with was Bumpy One. So I put that on the guitar. That guitar's called Bumpy One. And anyway, so that's an important thing I have, a valuable thing I have. That's weird. I remember one time with the old guitar sitting down and saying, okay, I am going to play something and I'm going to sing along while I play. And I remember I could not physically make any words come out of my mouth. I couldn't figure out how to do it. And then years go by and it just came out so naturally. Just, there we go. The strumming pattern's here, and you just ride over the top of the strumming pattern. That's it.
Well, your voice changed over the years. We all think that we have to sing in a certain way, especially those of us who are girls and come up from middle school. You sing all airy-fairy and stuff, but everybody has this idea that they're supposed to put on a voice. It's a stupid idea, but you used to do that too. You used to have a put-on type of thing, and I finally just said, no. Just sing through your voice, natural. And it is so nice. Just your regular voice, Lance.
Well, I always thought, there's a good chance I may have to sing this in public, and I'm going to have enough volume to be heard. And I didn't think I could sing with volume at a low voice. I thought I had to sing higher, or whatever to be heard. And then I realized you're never going to sing in public. You're never going to perform at a club. So all you're doing is recording in a closet with a little, $30 Sony voice recorder. So just sing regular. Just don't worry about it.
Everybody thinks they've got to be Whitney Houston, just belt it out and go over the top. But the natural voice that most people have is quite acceptable as long as they can carry a tune.
Yeah. There's certain people that their whole career is built upon a put-on voice. Tom Waits, Captain Beefheart, Bob Dylan to a great degree. And I don't know how you can. It's like being Pee Wee Herman. This is a character that you created, and now you're stuck, and you have to be that persona forever.
So be yourself.
It's like Olaf Schubert in Germany. That's not who he really is, and he's stuck. I think that in many ways he.
What about Truffle? What is it? Summit. Isn't he on there? He's more normal on that, isn't he?
There's a. I don't know if it's ever coming back. There's a German TV show called Gipfeltreffen where him and two other comedians, and they answer goofy questions in goofy ways. But
is he more normal on that?
no, he's still that character wearing that costume.
Huh.
And I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's odd. I found a German science show on YouTube that I may start listening to. And I also found some channel where this person reads children's books in German, which was nice.
Are any of the books by Till Lindemann's dad?
I don't know.
That would be curious.
I'd like to find those too. By the time I get back to work, I'll have been off work 11 days, and I feel like, I got like 2 days left, and I feel like I haven't done shit. I haven't, until now. I'm only now relaxing into feeling like.
You had a really messed up schedule. You were in a bad spot physically.
Yeah, I know. I said on the show just a couple weeks ago I'm through meditating, but I think that stopping meditating, it's like you don't realize it, but you're sort of like, without really being aware of it, you start to lean on it like a crutch, and then it's gone, and that's a part of your routine. It's like, well, I don't tie my shoes anymore, or something. I don't know.
Well, thanks to you, when I was in those damn machines at the hospital today, the whole thing is moving around me. And it's somewhat noisy, but it's a very disconcerting thing because you've got your hands over your head and you're stretched out and you're being put into this machine. And I had to rely on your meditation techniques to get to the point where I wasn't completely stressed the fuck out. Because I'm claustrophobic. That's all there is to it. I'm claustrophobic, and that kind of thing freaks me out. And they try their best to make it as comfortable as possible. And the staff was great about all the different tests, but that machine, when you've got this giant device going around you in motion, and it keeps clicking, and it wasn't loud like an MRI. And they're trying to get the readings from the radioactive dye they've put in you. It's very stressful. And I had to deliberately focus my breaths and close my eyes at times. Focus everything I had about me just to get through and to not freak out. Thank you, dear.
Well, my thing about MRI is having to keep still. With the earplugs in, it's loud, but it's also sort of like numbing.
What do you do with your hands during an MRI? This wasn't an MRI.
I fold them across my chest, but the thing is, you sort of start to drift off, and you're afraid if you wake up, you'll jerk, and they'll like, well, you moved your head, we got to start over.
Yeah, I asked this guy, I said, what happens if I have to go to the bathroom? He goes, oh, we have to start over. Damn it.
Yeah, and I always forget to wear a long sleeve shirt because the interior is plastic.
Ew, it's sticky.
And so your like elbows stick to the sides, and when they move you, it jerks you, and you're afraid, oh no, I've moved my head.
They told me to wear loose fitting clothes, so I didn't wear a bra. I wore an undershirt. And one of the guys goes, you're not wearing a bra, are you? I said, no, I'm not. He goes, well, when we attach this, that, the other, he goes, what do you want to do with your boobs? I said, what do you recommend? He goes, do you want to just cover them with your hands? I said, okay. It was kind of funny. I wore the best clothes for that whole thing. It was wonderful because I was so comfortable.
Huh. Oh my God. I hate having to get naked in front of strangers.
Well, I didn't have to get naked. I mean, I lifted up my undershirt, basically. Put my hand over my boobs, so he's putting on all these electrodes and stuff around me. But I've still got clothes on from the waist down, and I've got clothes on above my boobs. I've got my hands in front of my boobs. But it's like you said, he's seen 30 years worth of boobs.
Well, when I was a kid, I went to see this. My childhood doctor was this older, I guess she was Chinese woman doctor named Dr. Cao. And you would always have to get down to your underwear, and then she would stick her fingers in your underwear and feel your scrotum. And it was very embarrassing. And as a kid, you just have to learn, well, this is the way things are, and you have to just...
At
Kinda
what
like-
age do you discover we have to stick your finger up your butt?
Yeah, fun.
Oh God. Well, women's exams. I mean, Jesus Christ, front and back were being probed.
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 All right, we've reached the half an hour mark, so I think that's a pretty good length for a show.
Oh God, yeah. We talked about
All right, we'll see you later. Bye bye.